Hi, I'm Christina with Soul Song Rising. Welcome to Energy Etiquette, the first video in my Ease and Flow series, where you will find tools to help you in shifting your reality so that you can walk in the universal flow state, or what Lee Harris's guides call the harmonic connective thread of the universe. So, in this video, we're going to learn about the importance of holding your energy field for the sake of yourself and others that you interact with. Also, how to recognize when you or someone else are not holding their field and there's an energy leak or there's energy pulling happening. This is really foundational, and you will immediately find it's much easier to walk in the world and stay in that high vibrational flow state longer without getting knocked off center. So, a quick disclaimer I do want to mention is that, I've really been deep diving into my spiritual journey for the past 6 years or so. And anything that I have received or gathered along the way, that I'm sharing at least, is I have experimented with it, practiced it, and integrated it, and it's become my truth. So, but not everything I say might resonate with you. So if it doesn't, that's okay. Just let it go by, and hopefully, um, there will be things you resonate with, and that's even better. Also, I can't remember all the places I've gathered all this information over the years, but a few I do want to mention is Healers Rising, Access Consciousness, and The Celestine Prophecy, which is a book by James Redfield, and highly recommend it. There's also, it's called The Celestine Prophecy, and it's also been adapted to a movie, and it's on Prime. And it is, I just really recommend it. It's really sweet, and it's a pretty powerful message. And in that, there are like 8 or 9 um, insights, and one of the insights talks about this energy pulling that we do. And that's one of the things we're going to talk about in this video, which is what I wanted to bring that up. So let's just jump right in. So first I want to share my screen and show you an image of our torus field. Okay. So this is the torus field. Toroidal field is the proper name, but it's our life force energy field. And it constantly spins, constantly spinning all the time. And every living thing has one. Humans, plants, animals, trees, food from the plants will also have it. Crystals from the earth have it. Gaia herself has one, and it continually spins. You can see it comes down through our crown, down through our core, out through our root, and it spins up, back, and around. And it's constantly spinning. Now, depending on how slow or fast it's spinning, depends on kind of where you are vibrating at and your frequency. So, right now, the collective is all, getting faster. Our energy fields are spinning faster at times, and we are probably slipping in and out of those higher dimensions, and in the fifth dimension, and then back down into the third and fourth dimension, and more density. So this is kind of about that, about how to hold that field so that you can kind of control how fast it's spinning. Okay. And when it's spinning fast, we talked about that. So you probably already are finding yourself moving in and out of these dimensions at different times. Usually what happens is your field will start to slow. That torus field will start to slow its spinning when you have an energy leak or you get kind of kicked off center, which life can do to you. But both of these things can pop you right out of that flow state. And we want to be in that flow state because that's where the ease is in life. All the synchronicities, all the doors opening, your path is just really clear and smooth. So that's where we want to be. But we are living in this dense world, lower density reality as well. And so that's the key, is to try to figure out how to stay in that flow state. So hopefully these things will help you. The first thing you want to do is to center. So you really need to um, learn how to center yourself, right? To where you are connected. You're not like this. You're straight up connected to source, and down into the earth. So you're on your axis. There's a couple different ways to be centered, or many actually, but two ways that I'm going to go over here because these are the two I like the best. And the first one is that centering. So what I do to get to that place is just take a couple of deep breaths. And once you do this a few times, you can do it instantly. You don't have to go into meditation to do it, but you kind of just have to know what it feels like to get there. And then you can just constantly, when you find yourself slipping out, you can go, oh, whoa, need to get back centered again. And you just and you just connect. But until then, until you've practiced that, what you want to do is take a few deep breaths, imagine your light around your heart, and just expand it out within your body. You'll take some deep breaths and just keep expanding and expanding. And then what you'll do is draw it down out of your root and through your chair, through the floor, down into the earth. And you just go through all the layers of the earth until you get to the center. And I kind of like to think of mine as like a snake, and I wrap it around the core so that I'm really, got a good grip on the core of the earth. And then I just let that energy come up back up through that light and back up into me. And I like to visualize it blue. I like colors, and I visualize this blue light coming back up into my body and expanding and blending, expanding all through my body. I also then will take my light and send it up through my crown and go straight up through, the ceiling, up into the sky, past our atmosphere, into the cosmos and into the galaxy, and find your source point. So you're going to just imagine that your higher self or your spirit, higher spirit source is up there, and you just connect to it. And then you pull that down. I think of a golden light coming down, back down into your body and blending in with Earth's energy. And it's just kind of turns green, because I feel like green is the heart, and that's where it kind of sits. And just that's when you can send it out as well. So I use that to send energy out whenever I'm doing meditation. So I think of the green color, but now you're centered. Okay. So what that does is it kind of moves your ego out of the way so that you can have a clear channel. Okay. So you're really and it also automatically, when you do that, you're in the present moment, right? Every time. So that's one way. And then another way is to imagine that you are a teeter-totter. This is my new one that I just learned, and I've been using this one more often now because it's kind of fun. But if you imagine you're in a teeter-totter, and balancing at 0 point is the present moment. So when your thoughts start leaning towards anxiety, worry about the future, things like that, you're going to go into the future thoughts, and you don't want to be there, right? So you catch yourself and you bring yourself back to 0 point, to the present moment. If you start worrying about the past, or you have regrets, or you feel guilty, or just things that have happened in the past, you kind of tilt this way into the past thoughts, and you don't want to do that either. You want to bring yourself back to center, to the present moment. Now, I know that's easier said than done. And there's lots of different things that you can find on how to get yourself in the present moment, because that is crucial, really, for living in flow. And it's almost like you have to constantly, for a while, you have to constantly be aware of it and get yourself back into it. But it becomes easier and easier with practice. One of the ways that I do it, the easiest for me, I can say, having a really low energy day, and I'm on the couch watching Netflix or whatever. And then I can just, especially when it goes to a commercial or something on TV, I will go, wow, I kind of get pulled back into my reality and go, am I in my present moment? And so the way I do it is I will just immediately stop and go, okay, I look around and I say, oh my gosh, I'm so thankful for being able to sit on this couch and curl up in my blanket and be under a safe roof, and just whatever you can find to be thankful for. Sometimes it's just that, or that you have food to eat, that you have the loved ones around you. So whatever it is that you can find to be grateful for in that moment will bring you into that present moment. So there's some tips there. So once you're centered, what you can also do, and I'm sure done this, where you can expand your energy out and, create that bubble. It's already there. You don't have to create it, but you can be aware of it. So you kind of just take your awareness out to the whole field that's all around you. And another way you can kind of do this is warm up your hands and then start, playing with that ball of energy. and really you start feeling it and just kind of expand it out. So that's how you can feel it with your hands. But just being aware of it around you is holding it. That's what holding your energy field is just being aware of that field. Because every interaction that you have throughout your day, and I mean, it could be, let me flip out of it, stop sharing my screen so I can get back. Okay. So every interaction that you have throughout the day, you're going to bump up against other people's energy fields, right? So what happens is often if you're an empath, you'll already do this automatically. You don't even know you're doing it or that you've collected it, but you'll collect spiritual debris from other people, and whether in interactions or even if people walk near you in a room, you could be in a certain mood and then suddenly your mood changes because you've pulled in their emotions, things like that. That is when we are unconscious of our field and we're just sharing energy exchanges without even knowing what's happening, right? And suddenly you you're in a totally different mood, or you'd have a totally different feeling, a negative feeling or something like that that isn't even yours. Now this especially happens if you work with the public. Okay, so if you're a healer, if you're a counselor, you work even customer service or wait staff, whatever, if you work with the public, this can happen. This happens all day long, right? So have you ever noticed when maybe you've had a day where it was just super draining and you're drained when you get home because of interactions you've had? Sometimes an interaction may be just really intense, right? So by holding your energy field, you can choose to give the energy that you need to give. When you are not conscious of your energy field, people will pull it. Or if you are low on your energy field, you will also do that. You will automatically start pulling energy. So it's just this chaotic energy exchange. It doesn't have to be that way. And you can hold your field and consciously give your energy and when you want to. So it's really important to be aware of it for that reason alone. Now, one of the things that happens, like I said earlier, is that life can just knock you off center, right? Knock you out of being aware of that field. And so you need to get back aware of it. So, you can have, like, I don't know, a bill comes in the mail that's like you realize that you have to owe a bunch of money, or you have a flat tire, or just all the things that happen in life, right? That can knock you off center. When that happens and we get kicked off center, or we have been energy exchanging without being conscious of it, we get an energy leak, right? So we get our energy gets really low, and our energy field starts spinning very slowly. And then you drop into this lower density reality that we're in. That's not that great. And so what you want to do is be aware. Wait, where was I going with that? um, when that happens and you get knocked off center, we will unconsciously start energy pulling. And I think of it like our soul's fight or flight, like our spirit's fight or flight response. When it's low energy, it's going to try to get energy wherever it can. And so that's why so many people are having these chaotic energy exchanges. It's because it's unconsciously happening. So we even do it. I mean, we do it. I do it. And so the key is to recognize when you're doing it. And there are 4 ways that we do it. These are called control dramas. And when you are having either an energy leak where someone's just pulling, or you're giving unconsciously, you will start slowing down. And that's when this unconscious behavior starts to go into effect. Another thing that can happen is when you get kicked off center, it can happen, right? So if you can keep bringing yourself back to center, that's the first key. And then that will make you think of your field, and you just kind of hold your field. Now, we're going to go over the 4 different ways that this happens. Now, I do want to bring up that I talk about it like it's a negative thing, this energy pulling, and it is when it's unconscious. But when you're around someone who's got a really low energy field, like, I don't know, like if someone's grieving the loss of someone they love, they are going to be really having a difficult time, and they're going to be at a low energy situation. And you can totally give of your energy to that person, even if they are displaying those control dramas that we're getting ready to talk about, because you're consciously doing it. So when you consciously do it, it's almost like you're just giving, you're not really reducing your own, because you're conscious of it. It's when you're not aware that you just pour and pour and pour, and then suddenly you're at at the same place, right? And lower. I hope that makes sense. So, because I talk about this like it's a game that people play, and it doesn't always have to be that way. So I'm going to share my screen. The first, let's go over these these control dramas that we do. The first one is called the aloof. So this is the first way we pull, and you'll there's four, and most people have like their go-to one that they go to default. And like you'll notice when you go through these, you'll know what your parents have used as their go-to and their default, and what your kids have used as their default, and your friends. And so you kind of it's kind of funny once you're aware of it. It's like life changing. I'm telling you. Okay, so here's the first one: aloof. This is the person who is not just distancing themselves for the sake of being alone. It's more about they're wanting you to come chasing, right? They want you to come chasing after them and to pull them back in, so they're pulling your energy that way. So oftentimes you'll hear things like I'm fine, I'm fine. If you ask what's wrong, nothing, I'm fine. But they want you to go, are you sure? Are you sure? Is there anything I can do? Are you mad at me? And that's just continually giving, giving, giving energy, and they're pulling it. So another one is never mind. It doesn't matter. Or no response at all, ignoring you, silent treatment, ghosting, just being really distant and mysterious. That is one of the control dramas. So one of the things you can do with any of these is that once you see it, or once you catch yourself doing it, first of all, if you catch yourself doing it, you'll kind of laugh and go, oh my gosh, I'm doing that. And the main thing is with all of these is that the answer instead is clear and open, honest communication, right? So if somebody has pissed you off and triggered you, then you might you might, if you're unconscious, go get mad and like want to distance yourself, and then do that I'm fine, no, it doesn't matter, or ghost them, right? Instead of doing that, when you are conscious, you can say, hey, look, that upset me. What you said upset me, and here's why. Or, I just need to take some time because I need to digest that conversation we just had. But you're just open communication is the opposite of what we do here, is what you want to do. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the second one. That's another favorite of mine. Okay. I just laugh every time I get this one because I can resonate with this one. This is the poor me, right? The victim, the whiner, the one who always wants to compare hardships, and how theirs is much harder than what you're going through. The nobody understands me, not my fault. They complain. So this is a very common one in my family, my parents and things. And so it's definitely probably one of my default ones, especially when you're sick, when I'm sick. If I am ill and I'm just really low energy due to being sick, I can totally whine, especially at my husband, to like get me something from the kitchen because I don't want to get up, because I just don't feel good. And you just the whine and whine and whine. And what you're doing when you're doing that is you are wanting someone to go, oh, here, I'll get that for you. Is there anything else I can do? Oh, poor baby, and just let me hold you, let me give you a blanket and all those things. So, um, again, if you know someone is sick, like especially your children do this a lot. They whine a lot, right? Whenever they're not feeling well, this is a go-to for them often. And, obviously you don't want to just blow them off. You do want to take care of them, and you do want to make them feel better. But when you're conscious that that's what they're doing, again, it's so much easier to give of your energy and you don't drain yourself. When it is unconscious is when it just keeps pulling and pulling. You're just totally not aware of it. Okay, the third one. Whoops. Third one is the interrogator. You might know someone like this that falls into this one occasionally. And this is someone who is very judgmental. They're critical of things that you say or do. They question everything. They might make you feel stupid. They shut down your ideas. They talk at you, not with you. They might be a know-it-all, or they like to be right and you wrong. So again, this is another one. And you can just, once you see it and once you recognize it, you can just step back and say, okay, yeah, I'm not going to continue this conversation because you don't understand. And that's okay. You just kind of stop, wind it down, because it becomes this back and forth, intense conversation that is no fun, no fun. Telling you that. So that's the other one. And then the last one is the intimidator. The intimidator is the aggressive person, the bully. If you value our friendship, you would do this. Maybe they yell or scream, threatening, intimidating, and can be abusive. Um, you can also do like a lighter level of this intimidation. Sometimes, like parents can sometimes fall into this whenever you are really drained. Your kids are draining you. You've had a really rough day. Maybe you worked all day and then you come home and then they're low from whatever reason. And so they're whining. And then you just use that intimidation, that parenting thing that we do, like go to your room, or, stop crying. And you just kind of get frustrated and you do that aggressive thing that sometimes parents have to do to get their point across. But that's what that is. It usually comes out, when you're not clear and quiet and calm. That's because you're off center, right? And you're not aware what you're doing. So you just fall into this automatic, that pattern of just and in that way. So does that make sense? So these are the four, and I will be sure and include this as attachments so that you can have them, because it is amazing how you will notice that people do this whenever they have an energy leak or they've been knocked off center. So just being aware of it is really amazing and will help you through your day. So I really hope that this has been helpful for you, and that you'll be able to recognize when you do this, and you can kind of catch yourself. And the more you do, it's just, well, I'll just let you do it and experience it and find out for yourself. So thanks so much for joining. I plan on having some more videos up soon. I'm going to be doing a pendulum class, which is fun because you can also measure your life force energy and how high it or low it is, or other people's, or your pets or whatever. And you can test the plants, the food you eat, like organic versus non-organic, your supplements. Anyway, that's just one of the things you can do with a pendulum that I'll be doing in my pendulum class. And then another one I'll be doing pretty soon is about manifesting, because manifesting in the higher dimensions is a lot different than what we have been taught to do in the regular, like, lower densities, right? So because when you're in flow, things are different, things happen differently, and you have to account for that. Okay, so there's not a lot of control. You surrender a little bit more. So anyway, I'll be doing a whole video on that because it is awesome. So thanks for joining, and I would love your feedback, because this is my first video in this series, and I would love to have some feedback. Thanks so much, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.